We are down to the final week of regular season play in CAA women's basketball, and we are pleased to be joined by our insider, Monika Moore. Whew, Monica, we have a lot to talk about.
We absolutely do. What a week, but I think this is what you expect when you're coming down the home stretch of regular season play.
I know it was a crazy week, and the race for the regular season title got even tighter last Sunday as the top two teams in the standings got knocked off. Elon made a remarkable late run and defeated North Carolina A&T 70 to 69, while Campbell completed an unbeaten road trip with a 56 to 52 win at Drexel. What impressed you about the performances from Elon and Campbell?
Well, let's start with Elon. It was a thriller in North Carolina on Senior Day. And for Elon, this is how you celebrate Senior Day. Now, North Carolina A&T got off to a strong start in that game. Elon was down 21 to 13 at the end of the first quarter, and they were down by as much as 10 in the fourth quarter, but they eked out the 1 point victory with a very, very gritty performance. And for weeks now, I have been harping on offensive balance, diversity in your offense. And Elon did have five players with 7 or more points. Three of those players were in double digits. But one player this week for Elon really stood out in their performance, and that was absolutely Raven Preston. She was nothing short of sensational, and we have to talk about it. She had a career high 31 points for the Phoenix. She is only the fifth player in the league this season to have a 30 or more point performance in a game. She had a team high 6 rebounds. She had a personal best 5 made 3 pointers. It was really a great day for her, and it was a great day for the Phoenix. But it wasn't just getting it done from an offensive perspective. They also did a great job getting points off turnovers, using their defense to generate offense. They had 24 points off turnovers compared to just 14 for North Carolina A&T. And I will say for Elon, when you put up 70 points against North Carolina A&T, this is an Aggies defense that only gives up 53.2 points per game, and you score 70 when you're averaging 56.2, you are doing a lot of things right. So that was a huge win for Elon. It's a lot of momentum for them heading into this last week and looking towards the conference tournament. I think they're really going to build off of that. And then Campbell as well. How impressive were the Camels this week? How impressive have the Camels been as of late? They are absolutely red hot, winning 8 of their last 9. And this win over Drexel was huge because it was on the road and they do secure a double bye in the upcoming tournament. So I think they checked a lot of boxes with this win. And we're going to stick with this theme of offensive diversity. We've been with it for a long time, and we are going to stick with it for Campbell because Campbell, in the fourth quarter of this game, they went on a 12-0 run. And what was special about that 12-0 run is that 6 different players scored a basket in that run. Now, a lot of times when teams go on you'll have 1 or 2 players that have the hot hand. They're scoring a lot of points. But for Campbell, it really just exemplifies what they're all about because they have so many different players that can contribute in what they do. Gianni Boone got them off to a great start in that game. She did score their first 12 points, but she ended the game with 14. Other players started stepping up. Jasmine Felton had 7 points and 9 rebounds. Gemma Nunez had 4 points and 9 assists. Sierra Alexander had 8 points. There were 4 other players that had 5 or more points. When you are getting every single person who's coming into the game contributing at such a high level, it's going to be huge for your team. I also think that Campbell just does a really good job of protecting the basketball and not turning it over. They do a really good job assisting baskets and facilitating for each other. I am so excited about what we're seeing out of them right now, and I cannot wait to see what's more to come.
Well, we've talked about big weekends from both Elon and Campbell, but no team is hotter in the CAA right now than Charleston, which is on a 6 game winning streak and has won their 3 conference matchups last week by an average of 29 points. What are the Cougars doing so well?
Well, Jamie, I think the answer to that question is they can score the basketball, flat out, period. They can score. They lead the offense in scoring offense. They average 71.9 points per game in the league. They scored 91 points against Elon, which was impressive, but then they scored 99 points against UNCW. Now, I mentioned Raven Preston a little earlier with her 31-point performance. Well, Taryn Barbeau had a 40-point performance against UNCW. And it wasn't just that she scored 40 points, she was 15 of 22 from the field. Talk about offensive efficiency. She is absolutely getting it done. And in case you were wondering, that is tied for a single game best in Charleston program history, scoring 40 points in one game. She's just a special player. She's our back to back CAA player of the week. But Charleston has lots of different players that can score at a high level. And that is a big reason we're seeing success for them. I also love the way they hit the offensive glass. That's something that coaches talk about all the time. They lead the league in offensive rebounds per game with 17.1, and they do a great job of protecting the ball as well. I talked about that with Campbell, but Charleston does a great job protecting the ball and forcing their opponents to turn over the ball. They lead the league in turnover margin, and they lead the league by quite a bit in that statistical category. So for Charleston, I think they're doing all the little things well. They found their offensive rhythm, and they're another exciting one. They're tough to play.
And as we said earlier, it's the final week of the regular season, and there's still plenty to be determined before the conference tournament. So, two big games on Thursday that caught my eye. And let's start with two teams that we have already been talking a bunch about, which is Charleston heading to Campbell.
Well, Jamie, when you're looking at this last week of games, you certainly have to start with the conference standings to see just how tight everything is right now. You have North Carolina A&T. They're in first place with a 13-3 record, but hot on their heels are Charleston and Drexel. They are tied for second place with a 12-4 record, and then you have Campbell, and Campbell is right there as well with an 11-5 record. So these games really matter in terms of how things are going to shake out in terms of the conference tournament seeding. Now, one big thing to know about this Charleston Campbell game is it is at Campbell. And we've talked about this before. The Camels are very, very difficult to beat at home. They are 11-1 on the season on their home turf. But we know that Charleston is red hot in the shooting category right now. So this is a must watch game this week.
Yeah, absolutely a must-watch game. And then the other game I'm looking at is the intense rivalry between always Drexel and Delaware. Drexel, like you said, right up there in second in the standings right now. What are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, this is a great rivalry that always draws a lot of attention. So when you look at Delaware in terms of the conference standings, they're 8-8 right now. So they're tied with William and Mary and Elon. Drexel's coming off a loss. We just talked about that. So they are going to be really hungry this week to finish the regular season strong. They beat Delaware back in January, 65-59. Now, obviously, that was ages ago in a college basketball season, but they do have that win back in January. And Drexel has won the last 6 games in this series. So there's going to be a lot of pride on the line. This is going to be really important in terms of the conference standings. And this is a big one that you want to keep your eyes on this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Monica, as always, thank you for your time. We have so appreciated your analysis all season, and we can't wait to catch up with you in DC for the basketball championship tournament. And fans, you can keep up to date on CA women's basketball by following CA Basketball on X and CA Sports on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy the games, and we'll see everybody come tournament time.